Okay, C-Suite Network Women's Coaching and Consulting Council. Here we are. Hey, we're talking about we're richer together. Oh, I love this topic. How to create strategic relationships that open new doors for you, expand opportunities, and accelerate growth. Hey, and also we are about the C-Suite Network values of relevancy, reach, reciprocity, and respect. And in our council, we add the next one, which is revenue generation. And so, because we know we need to have the engine of income and revenue to do all the things we want to do in our business and to create reciprocal relationships. So, thank you for making the time and thank you for investing yourself in being here today. We're richer already together. So, thank you. I'm Kathleen Caldwell, founder of this amazing council. We are growing. My gosh, this is our year. We're going to be growing exponentially, and we have so many exciting opportunities for our new esteemed faculty partners. And we'll talk about that later on. But I'm a speaker and author. I'm a lover of all things coaching and consulting. I think that I was a coach consultant from a very young age. How many of you too, you can relate to that? You were little and you were like the one that people went to, and you were, you had a little bit more maturity, growing up. Also, a little survey. How many of you are firstborn? It doesn't, yes. Okay. Come on. What does that mean? I don't know. We'll talk about that another time. Birth order. Okay. So kind of interesting, huh? Leaders. Okay. That's another topic. Okay. Very quickly. Our council, we are here to elevate you as esteemed faculty partners and guests. Thank you for being a guest and being here. We have topics and programs that are all about how to close the gap, as you can see, how to add more freedom in your life, how to add more income. We don't necessarily get into the ICF core competencies while they're extremely important. And I'm an ICF member, International Coaching Federation. We let the ICF do that. Let's let the ICF do those coaching competencies. We're about those coaching and consulting competencies in action. How do we put them into action, particularly in an AI world? So you'll see we have our YouTube channel, so many great programs. We're all about relevancy here. And of course, recently we did a program on team coaching. We're going to loop back and do something very special, a special challenge for our esteemed faculty partners, all about getting your group coaching program reignited, either starting one, reigniting one, or growing one. So we're going to be doing that in August because it's kind of back to school a little bit, at the end of August. So for some, that's not exciting. For others, it really is. So be sure on team and group coaching, we'll be focusing in on that. And I just wanted to do a big shout out for Deb Creer, esteemed faculty. She's on vacation on a cruise. Carol knows this, and I know this. She, along with Carol, recently did a very powerful research project. Deb she did an executive briefing that was fantastic, all about the results, what she's noticing, what she's seeing about executives that do not, but definitely need to have a continuity plan, hence opportunity. So check out our YouTube channel for that. Carol, big shout out to you. You led our deep work collab. Thank you. Really fun, a great opportunity to pause and just focus and do some deep work. So thank you to you for that. That was fantastic. We're going to reprise that very, very soon. And of course, Suzanne Ekstrom, we want to do a shout out for Suzanne. She's not able to be here today. She's got a new book that's out. She's also doing a research project for CEOs. So for all these things, we bring these up because we want to promote you, and C-Suite Network will promote you as well and lift you up to what you're doing and give you greater exposure to all of those folks out there in the world. And of course, a big shout out to our esteemed faculty partner, Kate Rosenberg. Fabulous. She has a new book that has just come out as well. And we helped her in her book launch. Fantastic book. Oh my goodness. Great exercises, great case studies, great read. So just want to do a shout out for Kate as well. Okay. So we're richer together. No doubt about this. This touches my heart because I don't know about you ladies. I'm tired of doing business alone. It's lonely. How many of you can relate, Being in our office, doing business. I mean, it's so fulfilling to do our client work, of course, but doing our business alone, there's another way to do it. And we in our council believe we're not competitors. Yes, we may have a title of coach consultant. Now there are over 22 million consultants on LinkedIn and over 2 million coaches listed on LinkedIn. So we're in a big global community. And in our council, we believe we're not competitors, we're collaborators. And we want to make a bigger pie of opportunities and bake more small pies, which is really great. So I believe that in our council, we're focused in on we're richer together. We're supporting each other, opening doors, elevating the conversation, empowering each other, connecting, and also growing ourselves in our business, collaborating, inspiring. I essentially created this council because I was looking for something, couldn't find it out there. I was finding groups, and how many of you can relate? Networking groups and connecting groups where it seemed like everybody was trying to sell each other, or they were kind of taking each other's ideas and spinning them off into their own IP. It was like, we just talked about that. Why am I reading that in that person's post or something? It just kind of felt icky. We're different. We're all about collaboration. So we talk the talk, but we also walk the walk. And I'm curious to get our conversation going richer together. Who in your life, in your career, has opened some of the biggest doors for you? Whether it's in your career, your business, your life, this is a great opportunity to pause and just think, hey, who have you worked with? Who in your life has opened some doors for you? And of course, you've opened doors for others. So many folks that you wouldn't even really think that maybe that introduction opened a door for them, or that note that you kindly wrote to them, or that phone call at a time that was just the perfect time. You opened a new door for someone else. But I'm curious for each of you, who who has opened one of your biggest doors? So just take it a little moment to think that through. Carol, jump in, please.
Okay, I think it was my first boss. Um,
Mm,
I had just come out of the Ohio State University with a master's degree in human services planning and administration, and I was hired by the head of the United Way in Columbus, Ohio. And that set me on a track to be able to hold my own with discussions with people of much greater stature than I, to be able to support them as, you know, chairpersons of this and that committee, but also to speak my mind in the appropriate time so that I would keep um, the train on the tracks. And that is a skill that I continue to be able to use, and it pleases me.
yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. And most certainly, Carol, you've parlayed that into your successful business, your career, your successful business, and of course the work that you do with others too. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
also that executive presence, that calmness. Oh my gosh, congratulations to you. I love that. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Lisa, how about you? Who opened a door for you in your career, your life, your business?
Thanks for the opportunity to pause and think about this because
Wow.
I was stopped for a minute and I was like, who? Because I feel like so much of what I've done has been because of my tenacity and my own struggles to get there. But truly, I was working in what I thought was my dream job, and like the values on the wall didn't show up in the room. I tried 10 years to get this job, and I showed up and I thought I finally arrived. And then I had all these awful experiences, especially the women in the workplace and racialized women were tokenized. It was terrible. And after about 2 years, I walked, I had 5 grand in my pocket and a non-solicitation clause, and I left. And the two biggest clients came with me. And the second one, which was my favorite, they called me about 4 months after I left. They said, "We hated everything your boss has done since you left. Can you finish this?" I was like, "Yes, I can." And I wrote them a $75,000 proposal, and they said yes. And that woman, that CAO of this small municipality, launched my business for me. Months later, she fired another consultant and said, "We need you to finish this project too." So, like, she really grounded me in where I am today.
Congratulations. My gosh. So great stories, great experiences. Carol, Lisa. Yeah, thank you. Eugenia, someone come to mind for you? Someone that opened a door for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I knew the,
We're having a
and
hard time
Latin
hearing you, dear. Yeah, we're having a hard time hearing you. Why don't maybe you could turn here's an idea. Would you like to turn your video off and maybe just the audio only? Yeah.
Is
We
that
love to see your
is
beautiful
that better?
face, but yeah, much better. Thank you.
Is that
Yes,
better?
thank you.
All right.
Much better.
John
Yes.
Hewitt. John Hewitt
Mm.
absolutely changed my life. He is a great mentor, and he insisted that I buy my own tax franchises, and he funded it all, and also gave me all the knowledge. Great mentor.
For sharing that, Eugenia. Thank you. Yeah, what a great opportunity to just pause, take a moment and think, wow, okay, I'm a history major from Florida State University. And I will say, just I was thinking about this in preparing for our program today, that my first job, like you, Carol, right out of college, was I had planned to go to law school, and I really knew my heart wasn't in it. And I was planning to go to law school because my dad wanted me to. I don't know if you can relate to any of that. It was a career that really wasn't a right fit for me, but I went through the motions and I took the LSAT, and I didn't do very well on the LSAT at all. And so this was the first clue. And so what I decided to do was actually back in the day, this was like 1983, 84, answer an ad in the newspaper for a local computer company that was looking for a salesperson. I had no experience with computers. This was back in the day. You can see right here. This was the Tristos 80, the Tandy Radio Shack 80 with the big floppy disks. We were also selling the Apple IIe at the time, and like the big compact computer that was like a sewing case. And that particular manager, I'm going to really think on his name. He saw something in me. I had no experience with computers. I had a history degree. I had no, not like, what's a computer? I think I can spell computer. I'm sure I could spell it, but what is it? How does it all work? He saw something in me that had him say, "Come work for us, and I will train you. I will teach you what to do." He knew there were some seeds of growth there for me, and also my excitement to learn, like all of you, excitement to learn, my commitment to customer service. And literally, this particular job right out of college, this man opened the doors for me that opened up entire worlds that I would have never experienced, which then moved on to be like salesperson of the quarter in a sea of men back in the early 80s. My gosh, it was all men in the tech industry. Then going on to working for Silicon Valley companies, being a key employee, going public with two different companies, and all kinds of wealth and opportunities. Getting to work with top level executives at General Motors, who are my clients, top level executives at Walgreens and Target and State Farm. Oh my gosh, Anna and I have chills. And getting to know a corporate environment that I had no understanding about, but I got the keys to the kingdom on this early on. So I'm going to check out, and this is perhaps even a pause and a call to action. Maybe you could reconnect with that person that has opened those doors with you. It's a LinkedIn connection, maybe it's a note, something like that. So from an early age, while I didn't make a lot of money out of college, I knew that I would be richer together with the alliance of this man who locked arms with me. and then caught the attention of a district manager and caught the attention of a regional manager and caught, through the chain by being connected with people who were connectors. So this is really the theme of what we're all about. And Carol, I just want to do a shout out for you. You are also doing this in action. You and Sheila recently did a LinkedIn Live, Richard together. And I also want to do a shout out. And I know a lot of our ladies are on vacation, but a big shout out to Deb Creer. Deb Creer had our other esteemed faculty partner, Kate Rosenberg, on her podcast. And I'm so grateful. I got to be on Deb Creer's The Business Power Hour podcast. She's esteemed faculty twice. I was on her program 858 and her program number 700. And I think now she is, let's see, she's now over 1,200 podcasts episodes. So all of this, we are doing this. We're not just talking about Richer together. We are doing it in our council, locking arms, not competing, and building bigger pies. So this is what is so exciting to me. We don't just talk about it, we do it. Inversely, you may have seen this flying around on Reddit and LinkedIn. There's a lot of text here, but I would love if you would read this. And this is an actual text that came from an executive to a workforce. So take a quick moment here. I'm not going to read this for you. You can read this, but it's really relevant to our conversation today. Hope you can you see this? First of all, I'm just checking in. Yeah. Okay, great. So, hey, essentially, and jump in with your interpretation. This is it, what I'm getting is this is a person who it is admonishing a group, a team, a department division that, hey, you need to go out and be doing shout outs for other folks. And you're not doing this because it's mandatory and it's not optional, it's required. And it's the third or fourth time we've been discussing this. And it doesn't take a lot of time or thought to do a shout out. Well, yeah, it does, really. And this is, it's like, wow, I'm just saying this is not an example in corporate. Now, again, we don't bash corporate. We love corporate. We have corporate clients. Many of us have been in corporate. This is not a corporate bashing conversation, but I just wanted to compare our experience as colleagues in our council is a lot different than what people in corporate are experiencing that, or associations or organizations. Hence, opportunity. That's really the bottom line. So, any comments about this? I read this and I had to read it like 4 times. It's almost like, remember that old meme that said, the beatings will continue until morale improves. Remember how terrible that was, right? This is kind of, I know it's terrible. I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah. Lisa, jump in. Jump in.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say like and there's a line in here. I don't really want to have individual conversations about this. So like I don't want to have to talk to you. And like don't talk
Exactly.
to each other.
Exactly.
It's like don't talk to each other. There's no collaboration allowed. Yeah, no
Yes.
warmness.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And so I wonder how many people will be doing a shout out for this person. And again, I mean, granting them a lot of grace. I mean, my goodness, we've all been in environments where we're not feeling the love, right? We're not feeling the cooperation and the collaboration. That's not what richer conversations are all about. And I can't honestly imagine that someone getting this email message would feel inspired to create a richer relationship with anyone, right? I mean, to me, this would be like, all right, I'm going to jump back into my silo in my little tent in my hut, yes. So I bring this up because we operate at a mastery level here in our council. We're operating at a whole different level. And the opportunities for us to bring this mindset of, hey, we're richer together and here's how to do it, right? But you got to get some baseline understanding of what does it mean to be richer together, right? Because, in a lot of environments around the world, it's if you win, I lose. And if I win, you lose mindset, right? So creating and outreaching to others is it's normal for us, but in some environments it's not. Yeah. Can anybody relate to any of this? I know it was part of one of the jobs that I left at the very end. It's like, whoa, this is not where I want to be. Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
started a new job one time, Kathleen, and I was told not to ask questions in team meetings. I was headhunted by me, talked to me for 2 months. I said, here's what I can bring to the team, and then shut up.
yes, akin to growing up. Sometimes children are better to be seen and not heard, kind of thing. And I think all of this is in our DNA, right? As human beings, we got that programming early on, and so we're rewiring ourselves to be reaching out and doing things where it's just easier sometimes to just do things ourselves and be alone in our business. And while there's a cost to that, that's kind of what, if we've been doing it for a while, which I have for a very long time, been a coach since 1998, that was just the way we operated, taking that corporate mindset into creating our own business. So, yes. So let's talk about another way to do this. Okay, let's jump in. Again, I had to put this in because I saw it on Reddit and I saw it on LinkedIn. I was like, oh gosh, I got to bring this into our conversation. So this is a very busy graphic, very, very busy. Uh, there are characteristics, as we all know, to poor relationships, right? You can see there's a lack of respect and trust. Of course, thank you, Lisa, for bringing that up. My gosh, poor communication or please no communication, right? People being selfish, territorial, no collaboration. My gosh, negative environments. You can feel the energies poor. People aren't reliable. They aren't connected to their word. Boundary issues. My gosh, please don't, you don't want to tread on someone's territory. People aren't accountable. There's not really a growth mindset. These are all things that we are not, but, in many environments, this is kind of the standard. So bless these places and these beautiful people. Guess what? We get the opportunity to transform that. That's part of the work that we get to do, which is fantastic. I know many of my clients, my corporate clients, they've been dealing with this. And for these clients, this was the norm. This was really the norm. And then what started to break down were clients were leaving. Lisa, you brought up that experience. They started to have profits slip. They started to experience the financial ramification of this, new competitors coming in, their stature as a business leader started to erode. And so that's at the point where they started to think, okay, I need outside help. Okay. So if we can do a pattern interrupt earlier and do an intervention earlier than this would be very helpful. But for a lot of companies, they won't move until the pain is too hard. Okay. We just know this. But being able to inversely talk about the bridge to more possibilities, that great relationships are really all about to the right, where you're going, relationships, connections, ideas, collaboration, visibility, and opportunities, a community that champions you. My gosh, we were just talking about that. When you've got a new book, you've got a new podcast, you've got a new LinkedIn Live, you've got a newsletter, we're like, hey, how can I support you? Who can I tell about this? Because we're richer together. Yeah. Okay. And I know I'm speaking to the choir here, but a framework that I really, really like is what does it really mean to be richer together? And so I put together this framework. There's a lot on here, but essentially, it's not only richer in ideas, but relationships, opportunities, confidence. Susan, welcome. So glad you're here. Thank you. We're richer in our wisdom, right? And our resources, and of course, revenue. It's a virtuous, fabulous circle. So, and I also believe there's something very special about when women in our energy, we come together. We love men, we love everybody in between. It's all good, it's all cool. but there's something special about our nurturing nature that really makes us richer together. So this is what we're fostering in our council. Anybody jump in if you'd like to make any comments, anything stand out for you about this framework here, because we're working on all of these aspects of this model. And I'm also curious for you at this point in time, with where you are with your business and your career, your ecosystem development, the work that you're doing with your clients, where would you say are you focusing right now in July of 2026? What would you say is important to you? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, or something else? Where's your priority for you and your business? Feel free to jump in. Carol, thank you.
Okay, so I haven't looked enough to figure out where on this chart I am, but because I have developed this new LinkedIn Live series, I am connecting again with so many people. My antenna is up in terms of who would be the ideal person to help me advance what I'm doing. I'm figuring out who should I invite, and that is a way to touch base with people I haven't talked to in eons. And it's not just that I'm sending them a note saying, I'm doing this, but they're responding and I'm responding back. And, there's liveliness in that touching again. And they're pleased. I'm pleased. We're reconnecting. And it reminds me of three things that I want to share with people. One is we need to be known. And Lord knows I write enough that if you're looking, you can know what it is that I'm talking about. Be remembered. And that again is a consistency issue. And then the final is be recalled. When there is an opportunity for someone just like you, you'll be in the perfect position to move forward with that opportunity because they will refer. And so I feel like this is just a really rich time for me. That addition of that extra burden of, trying to program people and get people to the event and then interact with them afterwards, before and after,
Yes,
is
exactly.
it's adding a lot of contact time. But on the other hand, hey, it's fun. And that notion of being actively engaged with people is really important. And it makes me more accessible because I am allowing time for people to schedule with me, to have a conversation. I'm finding ways to connect them to other people. I'm finding ways to add value to them. And that makes it more probable that they will both remember and recall me.
Excellent. Excellent. And may I add the next phase, which is retain you as their
Yes.
coach consultant, right? Yes, exactly. Right.
Yes.
Right. We're
Thank you.
closing that loop and refer you, right? Oh my gosh, I love your R model. The
Yeah.
fantastic. Yes. Great.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And it feels very rich to you, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
Prospering.
I have
Yes.
had marvelous, marvelous people, including Jeffrey Hazlett this year or this week. And I mean, what a rich card that is to play. And it was very, very fun. Um, both the conversation and all the lead up to get enough people to the room that I honored him, and to follow up with people and say, well, I'm sorry you missed it, but it's in the replay. So very fun.
Excellent. Congratulations,
Thank
congratulations.
you.
And it really takes something to do all this. And I
It
think
does.
also, yeah, it does. No doubt. And also love it. Thank you, Lisa, for putting that in the chat. Yes. And and to do all of this, we're richer together in building relationships and strategic relationships. We're going to have a challenge coming up soon for our Council Esteemed faculty, where we're going to be really drilling into creating intentional relationships, whether they're referral partners, whether they're new client opportunities, getting in the right rooms with the right people who can hire us, of course. And so that's coming up as well. This is the reason that we're doing business, isn't it? I mean, that we're in this business is who can I make a difference with? How can I make an impact? How can I use my talents and skills to do this? So, yeah, thank you. Good, good, good. Carol, great. You are in action, dear. Very good. Especially after having a nice little vacay. We're
Oh,
feeling many of
yes.
us, a little time away. Yeah, yeah, very good.
All good.
So, thank you. Very good. That always helps, right? Okay, so big graphic here, really big graphic. And you're going to notice a lot of these coming up when we do our challenge because this will be in a workbook for everyone. But to think about, the characteristics of a rich relationship, we've pretty much already talked about this, but there's a lot to this, and imagine being able to create some new frameworks for yourself around your IP, the things that you're doing, but having a aspect to it that's about relationships and rich relationships as well. Now, just know that in many environments, the word rich is a four-letter word. Hello, you might get tagged. I was thinking, oh my gosh, is LinkedIn or Facebook going to tag me by using the word rich? Okay, we'll see about that. That's a separate conversation. But what I love is that everyone prospers. You're out there, we're out there, we're sharing our gifts and our talents, we're making an ask, we're enrolling and inviting. There's no pressure. It's an opportunity for people to say yes or yes at a future date or no, not now. It's okay. We're inviting people to come to the buffet of their dreams, the buffet of our offering, right? Just keeping it easy, keeping the flow, right? I'm noticing that with so many coaches and consultants, bless everyone, of course, there's a little sense of desperation that's happening. We don't want that. Our council is all about elevating you as a coach consultant and also elevating the conversation about value. And what does that mean? So, yes. Okay. So, this is very busy. Okay. And we're going to jump into this more during our challenge, but thinking about how do we know the characteristics of rich relationships. Remember, we started off thinking about a person in your life who opened up new doors for you. And again, we're going to do a little shout out campaign to them, of course, a little reconnection. And, my gosh, what will that do? That will, my gosh, can you imagine getting a DM from someone whom you made a difference with, whether it was 5 days ago, 5 years ago, 5 decades ago, something like that. How wonderful. And then we talked about the characteristics of poorer relationships, looking at that email message that came out from someone, essentially telling people, hey, you got to do a shout out to people. Ooh, okay, got it. It's mandatory. Ooh, okay. Not a really great growth opportunity. And then, of course, talking about what are the characteristics, the specific characteristics of rich conversations, rich relationships. I think building relationships that are rich is part of the whole business ecosystem. I mean, this just makes so much sense. And the phrase do be good by doing good, right? Well, this is what this is all about is how do we then turn relationships into mutual reciprocity, of course, with, as you can see, who are the mentors in your life? Who are you a mentor to? What boards are you on, nonprofit as well as profit boards? Who are the sponsors and advocates for you? Faculty and thought leaders, peers and accountability, referral partners. I mean, this is so rich, all of these opportunities, things that maybe you haven't thought about, the clients that you have, the current, the past, and the future. strategic partnerships and alliances, associations and communities that you belong to, perhaps communities of faith that you belong to, industry experts. Who are you connected to within your industry that you're focusing in on? What's the media and the PR that you're involved with? Who's telling the world, in addition to our council and C-suite network, how awesome you are? Where are you speaking? Where are you sharing the great work that you're doing? So this is a beautiful, beautiful ecosystem that literally you have so many, and we have so many opportunities to build a business around this. Yeah. And I love, I created this little tagline at the bottom is relationships, I think, are the currency of growth. That when we invest in people, and of course we invest in ourselves, we expand opportunities and we create a bigger impact. Yeah. So thinking about this whole ecosystem, and I'm just kind of giving you a little smattering here. We're kind of winding into our last part of our program to then how do we apply this? So I've put together this screen, and take a screen capture if you'd like to, thinking about in this ecosystem, taking a moment and thinking about, okay, where in my life and my business do I have, maybe just pick out, I would just suggest go to the top three that you see on this graphic, which you see at the very top, mentors. There's no reason mentors are at the top. I just put it there, but, and there's no reason esteemed faculty partners are at the bottom. There's no reason for that. Is think about the mentors in your life, the trusted advisors you have, peers, could be professional or could be personal, maybe referral partners you have, strategic partners, esteemed faculty, industry experts, communities, associations, sponsors, people that you're sponsoring, groups that you sponsor or sponsor you, boards of directors or mentors. Think about the top three that are important to you now. Now, of course, we've got, we've got the clients in there, of course, yes. So picking out the top three that you have, and I'm going to ask you a couple strategic questions so we could actually put together a little mini plan before we complete our time together that you can leave and say, okay, this is what I'm focusing on for the next week or two or till the end of the month or the next 30 days. Okay. Everybody have at least three that are important to you? Okay. So I'm curious, of those top three, which circle or box would you say actually of those top three is the smallest, maybe needs the most attention, has the smallest number of people or names in it? If you stop and think about it, it's like, okay, well, clients right now in this point in time, I could use some more new clients. Or maybe you've got a box that you're thinking about clients. It could be past clients. Okay, I want to do a reconnect strategy to my past clients. Prospects, people who said, oh my gosh, I'd like to hire you, but I've got this thing going on and I'll do it later in the year type of thing. Maybe that's a category that you could focus on of, hey, interested, but not yet engaged or committed clients. Could be some area. Maybe it's speaking opportunities. Okay, I'm going to reconnect with these organizations and these companies that want to hire me to speak. Okay. Also, quick question within those top three, who haven't you talked to in, let's say, a year? Time to reconnect. Okay. Could be just as something as simple as I was attending a interactive gathering with the C-Suite Network Women's Coaching and Consulting Council, and we were talking about rich relationships. Haven't talked to you. What's going on in your life? Fill me in. Hey, do you have, can we connect for 15 minutes on Zoom, or on the phone? Oh my gosh, I love the phone, the old school phone. It's just so nice. We don't have to worry about video. And I can hear, as a coach, we love to hear and listen to people. It's all in the intonation, the pause. I love all that. Yeah. So I'm having more and more and more conversations. That is the key. Thinking about your top three circles or areas of priority is, where do you not have any new relationships? at all or current relationships. Hey, hence opportunity. Where would you like to build that circle out even more? And then finally, who could open a door about to a new relationship or to a new opportunity that I even haven't even asked about. I don't even know what to ask, but hey, this person seems to be very involved and connected into this area. How can I make create a new relationship to open some new doors for myself and for others? Great. I know this is a lot and it's a lot in a short interactive gathering. My goal is also always to get us thinking and to take some action on something that's very important to you. Thoughts, comments? Anyone wanted who'd like to jump in? Anything emerging for you about what we're talking about here? And then we're going to complete our time very soon. Anything coming up for you? Jump right in. Unmute yourself.
Kathleen, I just love that um, the question about who haven't you talked to in a year.
Yeah,
You know, yesterday I just connected with somebody I haven't talked to in 3 years, and it might lead to a teaching opportunity at a university for me, right?
fantastic. Congratulations, Lisa. Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. And I think for you, I'm for each of you, I'm wondering, I mean, COVID just shifted everything. It just seemed like in a flash, and at the same time, such a long, long thing. Life changed so much. And I think I noticed post COVID, we were all talking about, well, like, what happened to you after COVID? And what's like, it's like, okay, got it. We're a little bit beyond that, while it's a couple of years, it's so much has changed for people. And so just a really beautiful reconnect. I was just thinking about you and with not an agenda. Like there's no agenda to try to get them to enroll in something. Dude, it's just like pure human relationship. And Susan, we know you with humanitarianism and all the beautiful work that you're doing. That's the key of all of it. Just getting people together, having conversations just because, right? Yeah. Thank you.
And this has been a busy week of in-person gathering.
Yes.
Yesterday morning at 7, I was online at 4 a.m. yesterday, and then still at a live in-person event at 7, and then another one late in the afternoon. And you find yourself like energized, but at the same time exhausted and going, wait a minute, now all the follow-up I need to do, trying to catch Carol's LinkedIn Live and having meetings that you're going, okay, I can't stay to the very end because I've got to get to the next one. We pack ourselves in relationship to so many things at times that what I find myself thinking of right now is how much I have to catch up on, and not just from yesterday, but from weeks ago, even. Things that I'm like, oh, I still haven't had a chance to do this. I haven't had a chance to reach out to so and so about whatever it is. And sometimes we then go, well, that's a missed opportunity, instead of going, no, there is no rule that you have to do it. There might be a recommendation that would be grand to fulfill. However, the fact that you follow up at all is the sort of thing that they're like, oh, thank God, I'm so glad you did this because I haven't had time to do it either. And I think we forget and shame ourselves sometimes into thinking, well, I shouldn't do it because I didn't do it when I should have. And, those shoulds, instead of going, ooh, cool, I've thought of it now. Let me follow up and make it into that opportunity I was so excited about.
Thank you, Susan. Yeah, yes. And I think also our tribe, our community, our people, they're busy too. And so what a gift to do the deep work. And thank you to you, Carol, for leading that session. We can have a session of for ourselves at any time of like, absolutely, I am bookending this couple hours. That's not negotiable. And I am going to just get myself organized. I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to make those 2 phone calls or whatever is right for you to take the next step. There's isn't it partially why we became entrepreneurs and owning our businesses? We get to have the freedom to do what we want to do when we want to do it with whom we want to, and of course, the opportunities abound, right? Yes. So thank you, and
And
I also
can
want to
I
share. Go
add,
ahead,
I
please.
want to add a story that is to me quite humorous. One of my friends attends an event fairly regularly, but not all the time, and she knows I seldom get to it. Last month, as I drove back from Chicago, I met her and some others for lunch that had been scheduled months prior. And she goes, "Oh, I'm going to such and such afterwards. Why don't you, on your way home, stop at this event with me?" She leads me to where she thinks the event is. She has the wrong location. She gets there and she goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm leading you on a goose chase." So what has she done? And I'm like, "That's fine, no big deal. It's not something we're getting to this month." She cannot attend the event tomorrow. However, she made sure that I was included in this event tomorrow, and she assigned somebody to, as she said, be my bodyguard. So I have somebody who
Fabulous.
is at events with me yesterday, and in the morning event, he walked up and said, I've been assigned to make sure you're taken care of at such and such Thursday afternoon. I will see you there." And then
Nice.
last night at the event, he also, on his way through the room, mentioned it, and on his way out the door, mentioned it. Now, might I
Excellent.
have chosen not to attend this event today feeling exhausted? Yes. But knowing that I have a champion who has not
Yes.
only made sure that I was on the list to be there, but a friend who will be there to be my backup, it
Yes.
leaves you thinking about how much when we build these sort of relationships with people, the relationship extends beyond the person who is your bestie to the other people in the room. And that's what happens in this group so much, and which was also pointed out at last night's meeting. So I just love
Nice.
how the C-suite community comes together, and the people we've met inside it and outside of it look out for each other when our paths cross in other environments.
Thank you. Thank you. Great real world example. And how important to have our wing women and our wing men and everybody in between, right? Yeah. Yeah. Great. Thank you for sharing that. Good. Great. Carol, do you want to jump in? We've got about 6 minutes left. Yeah.
Yes. So one of the things that I wanted to say is that Susan shows up so many places, but it is powerful when she does. And I noticed immediately when she came to my LinkedIn Live because she, added a little text. That's the only way we would know that she attended because you can't see the people. But I felt so blessed that given her incredible schedule of things, that she bothered to come. Thank you. Yeah, it really made my heart lighter. I
It was a
appreciate it.
wonderful interview, and you did
Thank you.
have great
Oh,
engagement in questions. I was so thrilled to see that people were actually putting questions in, and somebody put in a question
nice.
that showed up as anonymous to Carol, and then I don't know who ended up identifying them to you, but it was great to see somebody else making sure that the real person got called out so that you and Jeffrey knew who the question came from,
Yes,
who needed to be reconnected, all those pieces that bring that circle together in the way
yes.
Kathleen is talking about today. It's been
Thank
great
you.
to, you know, watch these pieces interconnect like perfect puzzle fits.
Yeah. So
Beautiful. Thank you. Yes.
there were two people there who specifically came because they were from Jeffrey's past. And
Excellent.
because I couldn't make sure that he was seeing the chat, after the meeting, I uh, did some screen captures for him. And I said, these are two people that specifically were here for you. Here's what they said. And so I'm sure that he is following up because that's who he is as well.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
really pleased to be able to complete that circle. And the way that I was able to capture the chat was that I asked, Molly Christensen to be my wing woman. And she, took all the screen captures, and then
Nice.
I was able to see what was being said in the chat. So I just appreciated
Congratulations.
so much that sense of camaraderie and community that supported me in that effort. And thank you, Susan, for that.
Wonderful. Great, great. Okay, we're in action, right?
Yeah.
So thank you. Great world. This is what I had hoped when I was dreaming of our time together is thinking about, hey, how can we bring some real world conversations into all of this? And in our couple minutes remaining, hey, I think also if the focus for you and for all of us is, generating revenue, generating income. And again, my philosophy on it. We need the currency to keep the current going, right? So getting in the right rooms with the right people and also it's all about relationships. It's rich relationships. So, just thinking about where from today's conversation, where do I need to go next? And what do I need to consciously create? And the key to all of this, the absolute key to all of this is work with the willing, ladies, work with the willing. Work with people who are saying yes. Please don't try to push the rope upstream, right? If there are people that are just not they just like, hey, it's not the right time or blah, 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 blah. It's like, I just feel like we bless them and we want to work with the willing because there's so many people that want to work with you. We just need to navigate and find out who they are and be able to engage with them at the right time, at the right place. People who get your energy, who get the flow for you, you're aligned with them, right? Work with the willing. And of course, setting up what are the mutual conditions of satisfaction. Okay. Work with the willing, find your tribe, find your community, and build those rich relationships, have those conversations. And then, of course, a little mini roadmap is hey, what would be the guidelines or what's important to you on the other end? So having those rich conversations, oh my gosh, this will change the relationship to understand how are they defining respect and trust and communication support and fairness, hey, and getting those conversations. And of course, during our challenge we're going to have in August, we're going to be in the game on the court talking about all this. But I just wanted to lay the groundwork for us. And of course, finally, my jam is always the quadruple win. I've got a framework around this, the quadruple win. I win, you win, the client out there that essentially is impacted by the work we're doing. We all win, and guess what? The world wins. Okay. So use that quadruple win when you're thinking about that connection. Okay. So setting up the ecosystem, taking some next steps, and parting final words. And in the speaking world, last words linger. Yep. I believe that successful women, and however you define success, we build big networks and we also build an ecosystem around them. And the bigger network can be a network of your key 100 people, your key 50 people, your whatever the number is, you get to decide how it is. But building a whole ecosystem to enable that quadruple win, you win, they win, we together win, and the world wins. Whoa, fabulous. Okay, so here's a challenge from today's program. Pick one of these that works for you. Hey, I invite you to think about just scheduling one short conversation. Hey, I'd love to connect with you. Do you have 15 minutes? Want to catch up with you, see what's new in your world? I've been thinking about you. I might have some opportunities to connect you to something, 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 whatever it is. Just, the relationship. Schedule a quick call. Make one introduction to someone else. There we go. Ask a courageous question of someone. If you're in an environment like this, or you're on, just, use your gifts and skills. You don't need to coach the person up, right? But ask a curious, courageous question. Offer one unexpected opportunity. Whoa, fantastic. And think about maybe how can I strengthen one new relationship in the next 7 days? So with that, is there one on here that you are interested in? Is there one of these that you think that you'd like to take away from our time? And of course, I want to get your takeaways and think about that. Big announcement as we complete our time on Monday. We've got a new challenge. We've got something new coming for the month of August. Check it out in C Suite Network's weekly newsletter. You're going to see the big announcement about that. And as esteemed faculty, you're going to be involved, of course, and we're going to feature you, highlight, promote you, and showcase you. So as we complete, what's your biggest takeaway from our time together? What's your biggest takeaway? I want to hear from you. What's the biggest aha on the court? Something that was meaningful for you today. Noting that our time was well used.
Mm.
Jump in.
Kathleen, I really, again, want to thank you for the invitation to think about those people who lifted us up. And I'm going to text Elaine Vincent.
Lisa,
Yeah.
you will make her day.
Yeah.
Boom.
Thank
Fantastic.
you. Thank you.
Congratulations to you. Very good. Great, courageous text and maybe a conversation. Good. Thank you. Thank you, Eugenie. Appreciate that. Great. Carol, take us home. And what is it that you, maybe Susan as well, what is it that you're going, what's your biggest takeaway?
I think it is that spending time growing relationships automatically feeds energy into our business. And when we feed that energy into our business, it's got to have some good translation into richer times, richer opportunities, and a feeling of success.
Excellent. Excellent. Great. Thank you. Remember, we're richer together, and the best relationship to invest in is with yourself. So, what can you do to have a richer relationship with yourself today? Maybe take a walk, maybe take some quiet time. Appreciate who you are, what you do, the difference you make in the world. Lots of love to each of you. Thank you. What a joyous time. Thank you for making my day so rich today. Love you. Thank you very much. Bring a
Thank
friend
you.
next time. Can't wait to grow our network.
Thanks,
Bye-bye. Thank you. See you
Kathleen.
soon.
Lovely to meet you,
Thank
Carolyn
you.
Eugenie.
Thank you. Bye-bye, ladies. Love you. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you. Thank you.